everybody. Thanks for being here. Following Montana's win over Butler, we've got Eli Gillman, rushed for over 100 yards today, and Ryder Meyer, 12 total tackles. We will start with Coach Hauck, and then we'll pass the microphone around for questions. Just raise your hand if you've got a question. But, Coach, good win for your team, 1-0. Your initial thoughts?
Anyway, it's good to be 1-0. Butler came in here and fought hard. I thought they were well prepared. I think they do a really nice job coaching those guys. They tackle. They were ready for our stuff. I thought they were well prepared, and so they came in and played their tails off, and have a lot of respect for them. Also have respect for our guys being above it at times today and just going and getting it. So I would ask, though, on Monday you guys had me confused. Who was the left-handed quarterback you were talking about? Fritzy, you wrote an article, did you? Well, Fritzy wrote an article on it. You didn't think I was going to let you off the hook. I really wanted Coulter, but you're here. Where is Coulter? Can you ask him? Can you text him? Find out who the lefty quarterback he was talking about was? All right, thanks, man. Tell him I was wondering. Okay, good. Tell him I was wondering. All right. Okay, go ahead.
Questions?
Coach, the switch to Clifton McDowell in the second half, what was the impetus behind that? Why was that the moment you decided to make that change?
Yeah, that was our plan going into the game.
Can you expand on what Clifton was able to do?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch him. In speaking to him, though, throughout the second half, he was on it in terms of the checks and all the stuff that we wanted him to do. I thought he was really on top of things. So thought he did some good stuff. The last first down, or the second to last first down, we kind of drew that one up in the dirt. It's something we did early in the camp, but it wasn't even a play call on our call sheet. We hadn't worked it this week. So, I think that's just a good example of him handling some things. Thought he did a good job.
And then, Coach, can you speak about Eli Gillman sitting here next to you? His first start, he goes for over 100 yards. A little bit tougher for him in the first half, but he ran the ball really well in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's the way a little bit in the run game. You have a chance to wear people down a little bit, and so the first half he did I told him at halftime, great job. He took care of the ball. He ran hard. He got some yards after contact, and then the second half it was awesome. So nice job by our freshman running back.
And Eli, just to piggyback off that, you've had a little bit of playing time last year, just sporadically, and obviously the playoff game against NDSU. Just coming into today, what was it like for you knowing that you were going to get the start, and then obviously you had a big day too?
It was exciting. I love going out there playing football with my guys, and we've been talking about all week how we got to dominate the run game, and when the O-line does theirs, I better do mine too. So.
What was the flow of the game like for you? Because it just seemed like you got comfortable as the game was going on. Did you notice that, or what was your game experience like today?
We just kept pounding the ball like we know how to, and it wears on teams, and we're going to keep going and going and going until they can't stop us anymore.
Eli, in that first half, you guys had that series where 2 touchdowns were called back. How does an offense stay composed in that situation to come through and score a touchdown?
We just rely on a discipline and technique to keep us going, and as long as we do our job, we'll keep scoring.
And when Clifton came in the second half and added that +1 run element, how did that help you guys as running backs?
It expanded the run game, too, when the defense got to worry about 2 runners instead of just 1. So he did a nice job doing his part, too.
Ryder, what's it like kind of getting out there? You've kind of waited your turn, and then to get out there and play the reps you did, how much fun was that?
Well, playing in this defense has been great. We've had a loaded safety group ever since I've been here. So I've had a great opportunity to learn from guys like Josh, learn from guys like Robbie, and then the safety room we have now they're just awesome dudes I love playing with. And so, playing with them out on the field, every time someone makes a play, we're excited for one another, and that's what makes playing in this defense so fun, is that everyone cares about one another, and someone makes a play, everyone's going to be excited for them.
How do you feel you guys did today, and I mean, you guys were there in perfect position a couple times, and they came down with some crazy catches. How do you assess the way the defense played?
There's always going to be things to correct, and the coaches will get that figured out for us on Monday, and then we'll be ready to go for Utah Tech.
Were you on the field for when Nash had that hit?
I was very excited for Nash. He's a physical player, and I saw him coming downhill, and I was kind of hoping that was going to be the outcome.
Ryder, can you talk about the play call that came in for the PAT that you ran in and how it worked? And Coach called it, and he has confidence in the PAT team to go out and execute, and I trusted the guys up front and knew that we were gonna get it done. Bobby, can you talk a little bit about the fake punt? It seemed like the offense needed a spark, and that was there for you.
Yeah, it was. Somebody asked about the flow of the game. It was so odd with the clock not working, and I actually didn't realize it was 4th down. I thought it was 3rd down, and because it's the thing's right behind me, and so they said, "Hey, it's 4th down." So I ran down there, and we kind of got on late. I think we snapped it with like 1 second left on the play clock. But yeah, that was my feeling, Fritz. It's something we want to do. We want to have some punt offense stuff, and those guys are reliable, and they got their blocks. They got it checked to the right side. We took our slot guy in motion, got the numbers and the look we wanted after when Kale sent him across, and so it was easy. It was easy. It was a big gain, obviously.
This might be a big ask, but I thought the quarterback made like 3 or 4 throws that looked impossible, near impossible.
Yeah, off the back foot, and they threw a lot of stuff at us. It's really hard when you haven't seen some things, and then they did hit us on some stuff like the touchdown on the wide delay throwback deal. We practiced that. We covered it on Thursday. Same guy covered it on Thursday. So, but you guys asked Ryder a little bit about that. A good throw and a good catch beats good coverage every time. So, you got to make plays on the ball, and that was one of the things I challenged our team at halftime was both sides of the balls to make plays on the ball, and I thought we did. I thought Gradney's interception was terrific, and they did make some circus catches.
Sticking with special teams, I mean, you said on Monday that if the depth chart came out, Glasgow would be the starting kicker. Glad he was on Tuesday, and then he was today. What do you see from him? I mean, he comes out, hits a 49-yarder kind of into the breeze, and overall, it just seems like it could be a weapon for you guys.
Yeah, I thought he had a big day. He mishit 2 kickoffs, but the rest of them he was pretty smooth on, and the field goals were good. I haven't looked at all the times yet, but they let me know if they're real slow. So I think everything was on time. He's getting it elevated. He was really good today, and looked to me like for the 3rd year in a row with a different punter, we got one that can hit the ball pretty decent there too.
Bobby, there was that other trick play where you guys had Junior Bergen throw the pass. Why did you decide that was the right time to run it, and how did that play end up working?
Well, like any play call, we'll we always call every play we call, we think it's because it's the right time to run it. We never call when we think it's the wrong time to run it. You don't like trick plays, or?
No, I like them.
Oh, okay, good. So you like that one, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I did too.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it with the clock issues in the first quarter. How were you able to navigate that? What kind of a challenge was it with the clock not working the first quarter?
Really, it was more a factor with the down and distance. Usually you can glance up there and catch it, and you got a lot of stuff going on. So, but the clock, once it was probably more vital towards the end of the half. Like if you saw, we got 2 possessions at the end of the half. They were going to get the kickoff coming out of the locker room. So, using our timeouts to we got a touchdown, then we got the ball back, and I think we ended up getting a penalty and sending us back the wrong direction. But if the clock's not working, it's harder to manage that clock at the end of the half, so I'm glad they got it fixed.
And then Sam's performance, obviously the big throw, I think on the third play of the game. What did you make of his performance today?
You know, I didn't watch him that much. I thought he did a good job. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll talk about it Monday if you want. I thought he did a nice job. I don't even know what was he? 15 out of 25. Did a good job. You know, we gotta win the turnover battle. And, you know, that's not all in the quarterback all the time either.
You mentioned just the turnovers and a couple of those penalties in the first half seemed kind of unorthodox for you guys to have a couple of penalties. You know, do you look at those turnovers and penalties as maybe immediate areas to kind of clean up going into next week?
Well, you know, some penalties I don't really care about. Some I do. You know, I thought at times their most productive play was the penalty, offensively and defensively. So, you know, we don't want to be going backwards or giving them free yards, which at times we did, but, you know, sometimes stuff happens too.
The turnovers, like you mentioned, I mean, there was kind of the bobbled catch, you know, that fell in their arms and the fumble. Like, you see those as pretty easy fixes, you know, because I know turnovers are kind of a big thing for this program. Well,
for all programs, you know, if you don't win the turnover battle, you don't win much. So, yeah, obviously we had to take care of the ball. He took some great licks and hung on to it. And, you know, I didn't want to jinx our running backs before the game, but we didn't have one fumble during training camp, and it was pretty physical. So I like where that is. Quarterbacks are going to throw some interceptions. That's if you're going to throw the ball some, the other team's going to catch a couple of them. We just don't want a bunch of them.
And Ryder, just coming out of the second half, Butler was able to find some success on offense. Did they change anything up, or why were they able to kind of get a couple points on the board there in that second half?
You know, I think we'll have to watch the film more to know exactly what happened. But the great thing about this defense is that we're resilient. We were able to bounce back and get a couple stops to get the ball back to our offense.
And to piggyback off that, yeah, you guys seemed to settle in kind of in that second half, and you know they had momentum, and you guys stopped it. Trevin had the interception. Just what was kind of clicked for you guys as you guys were able to halt that momentum for them in the second half?
Yeah, guys started making plays. Trevin made a couple very key plays on the ball. As you guys said, Nash had the big hit. I think that helped with some of the momentum for us in the second half, and then we just kind of feed off of that and kept going.
Speaking of that big hit, Coach, I know you were kind of standing right there when Nash made that play. How did you think that was able to fire up the defense and the entire team in the fourth quarter?
Well, I thought he fumbled it. We didn't get on it, so I was a little disappointed by that. I thought the ball was loose.
Eli, I know you scored last year, but you get that touchdown. That was kind of right after they scored. So how did that feel, especially going into the north end zone and kind of scoring and celebrating with the crazies up there?
It's a great feeling to play and score in front of the best fans in the nation. So.
And Eli, as well, you talked a little bit about like having multiple people in the rushing attack like Clifton, but I guess talking about Xavier Harris, who also had a pretty nice game, and there was one specific play where on the Butler sideline he kind of took a hit, kind of brushed it off. How is it having a guy like that who's had the experience kind of right next to you and not only helping you in the run game but also just maybe being a little bit of a mentor for you, I guess?
Yeah, the whole running back room is full of great dudes, and I'm one of the youngest, so all the older guys teach me, you know, everything I know and everything you see in the field. So they're great dudes, and it's nice to have them around.
One more.
And Ryder, on this defense, you guys have a couple of new faces. You know, got a chance to play. I mean, you've been on the team for a while, but you had like your Hayden Harris's and Riley Wilson also stood out. Can you speak to, I guess, what's been like working with Riley and just his impact there? Because he seemed to, from pretty much the get-go, be ready to play.
Yeah, you know, we have a couple new guys come in, and they fit in immediately with the guys. They picked up the defense right away in the spring and then through the summer and into fall camp, and you know they picked up how we play defense in terms of getting to the ball. We want to swarm the ball, get everyone around it, and then have fun. And also they're great dudes as well. They're awesome to have in the locker room and outside of football. So it's been great having those guys on the team, and also what they bring to football and you know, socially in the locker room and outside of it. So.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, good to see you.